Alright guys, welcome back to Stuck on an Island where I'm stuck with you guys and we're always smiling. Yo, it is a Sunday morning and I can actually smell my neighbors doing some fried plantains or whatever the hell they're making. But in today's dish, I'm gonna be doing a typical Jamaican Sunday breakfast, which is gonna be ackee and saltfish. Now for those of you who might not know, that is Jamaica's national dish. Now, in Jamaica, we always say out of many one people. And for example, ackee, I believe this comes from West Africa, I believe. So the tree came from West Africa. It was brought here. And then of course, this really expensive thing. Is crazy how expensive this is. But there we have some saltfish, which I believe was imported from Europe. So these two ingredients come together and they make one of the most scintillating things I've ever eaten, and I think it's worthy of being a national dish. However, I'm going to be stuffing it into one of my favorite fruits, which is called a breadfruit. Now, it's not quite a fruit, it's definitely more on the bready side. I completely love breadfruit. Now, if you guys remember, if you've never watched it, I'll put a link somewhere up here where I did a red herring rundown stuffed in a breadfruit, and let me tell you, it was one of the most delicious things I've ever had that was just unorthodoxly made. So in today's dish, I'm going to be doing the same type of technique. I'm going to show you how I do it, and hopefully you guys can try it at home. Now, one of the main reasons why I'm very excited about doing this video is that I did get a couple comments, people asking me what are the other ways that they could roast breadfruit, because a lot of persons are inside, they're at home. You know, I know if you have a gas stove, you can definitely roast the breadfruit on top of the gas stove, but if you're like me with an electric stove, that might not be possible. But however, you can use your oven. So we're going to be doing that today, see how well the oven does it. I tell people all the time, if you're trying to get a very smoky flavor, then the oven or anything like that is not going to work as well. So you might lose that kind of flavor that breadfruit normally gives you. But apart from that, it should come out exactly how I want it to be. Okay, so for a quick look on how to do ackee, if you guys are Jamaican, you remember being a child, your parents would always tell you to do it. Quick trick, just to twist the head, the part comes off, or the head comes off, sorry. Pull out this pink part, you don't need that. And then when you come closer up here, there's this thing up here, it's kind of hard and tough, so just pull it off, and then that's basically it. The ackee is now clean and you're good. Now here's a fact about this fruit. If it's not picked properly, meaning that they don't allow the pod that it comes in to be opened up, then it can be really poisonous to eat. But once the pod is allowed to open accurately, you should be perfectly fine eating it. Just a little FYI. Now here's a trick with saltfish. As I say, it's salted fish, so it's very salty. This was used several years ago so that persons could actually preserve their meats to have it for a very long time. So what we have to do, you gotta be careful with this. You see all that salt? This is what you call corning a meat, man. It's super salted. Now you gotta be careful with the meat itself. Reason being, you don't want to remove too much salt from it. So what I'm gonna do first of all is to remove this excessive salt that's on it, put it into a pot with boiling water, and then I will check it in intervals to see if the salt consistency is perfectly fine. Now I have this really big bread. Yo, this breadfruit is almost as big as my head, and that's really hard to do. So if you guys check out my other channel, which is called Soai, on that channel I'm actually working on a project. Maybe that video is out already, or maybe it isn't, but jump over to Soai, I'll show you guys how to do that. Just go in the channel section, you will find my other channels. But anyway, so two of the guys, they are subscribers, they actually watch the videos and they know I love breadfruit. So they basically gave me a breadfruit. I had it in the fridge, so I'm gonna be using that in today's video. I love this breadfruit because it's so big, so it's gonna mean I'm gonna have a lot more space to actually store more ackee. Yo, it's gonna be a whole vibe. All right, so to get the party started, we're gonna actually cut the head off. So cut enough so that you have a top that you can put back on. So I'm gonna go with about here. And then what we're gonna do is just to carve out the inside, preferably stick to the heart. So the heart section is the part that we don't normally eat anyway. So we wanna stick to that part and then keep all this beautiful breadfruit on the outside intact. As you can see, I might be doing something that looks kind of crazy, but I'm just trying to put some Reynolds wrap around it, some foil paper, so that I can keep the breadfruit upright so it doesn't turn over too easily. Yeah. And as you guys can notice, I did hollow out the sections of it, so yeah, we're gonna fit some ackee into it right now. Alright, so we have boiled the salt off of the fish at the moment, so this is the part that I don't like, you know, deboning. And as I said, just debone, so the skin, I'm gonna pull the skin off of that, and then any large bones, matter of fact, all the bones, as many bones as you can get, is going to remove it from the fish, and then you're gonna basically flake it. What I mean by flaking, take the fork, and move the pieces of meat into smaller parts. And that will be it. Now, this for me is definitely the hardest part of doing this thing because I do not like having bones inside of my fish at all. So just going through it, try to find every single bone or as much as we can. And then I can say that we are done. Man, I used to hate doing this when I was a kid. God. Alright, just to show you guys how I'm gonna season this up, this is typical Jamaican way we don't normally do. Without the tomatoes though. I had no tomatoes, so I'm not using tomatoes today. But we have garlic, we have thyme, we have escallion, we have some scotch bonnet pepper, we have black pepper, we have a little bit of salt because the saltfish is already salty. We have some pimento, also known as allspice, and we have some onions already. So we're gonna mix everything in, add some butter to it, add some water, and we should be good. Alright, so quick FYI, the ackees are not cooked. I decided not to cook them because I want to cook them inside of the breadfruit. Let's see how that goes. And these ackees, ackees generally cook really easy anyway, so I'm not even worried about that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to get some of the salt and black pepper with the allspice, aka pimento. And I'm just gonna rub it on the insides of this, just a little bit. Then just mix all your seasonings together. It really don't matter how you do it. Just once it gets in there, it's fine. So add small layers at a time. Garlic, thyme, some onions, and I'm gonna add a couple ackees, and then our saltfish. I'm just going to keep repeating the process. As a matter of fact, let me add a little bit of butter. So what I'm hoping for is the steam from the breadfruit and the water is going to help to slow cook the ackee into the saltfish and all those seasonings, and the flavors are going to go so well together. The reason why I say this still is because I did this before with the red herring, and that's exactly how it turned out. It was so good, like all the flavors just all about inside the breadfruit. And we just repeat the process. Alright, now that we have everything stuffed in there, we're just going to add a little bit of coconut oil. That's going to fill all the gaps, because I don't want to press it in too much because ackees, I don't want it to be too crushed. I'm just going to add some water. So I have some of the pimento and black peppers there. Just going to add it all into that. Alright, now I see the water kind of come up to the top. Yeah, that's perfectly stuffed. Now the last time I didn't have a proper way to actually seal my breadfruit. Now I do because I'm at home. So I got my toothpicks. So let's get a couple of toothpicks. And then just put it on top. Trying to find the exact cut mark. Maybe I can, who cares? And just stuff it down. And then you're gonna have an even more secure lid than I had the last time. My work of art is completed. Alright, time to put it into the oven. It's about at 385 degrees. We have the oven on convect. Please fit, please. Oh no. The stem is too big. Take two. And action. Do it again. Should work this time. So what I also did, I also put some toothpicks at the base of the breadfruit to give it stability as well as using the foil. So hopefully she doesn't turn over. Alright, there we go. Pop her in. Wow, it got really dark outside. It's really overcast and there's sirens going in the background. Oh, sad movies always make... No, I ain't gonna cry today. But anyway, my breadfruit's in there with the saltfish and everything. I'm so excited about it. How long is it gonna take? I honestly do not know. I've never put a breadfruit in the oven before, but I'm gonna give it about an hour. I put it at 385 degrees, so let's test it out. Let's see how it goes. If it looks like it's undone, I'll definitely give it a little bit more longer of a time. And yeah, I'm really excited about the taste of this, and I'm really hungry. So I'm literally just here, just waiting on my prey to make a very false move for me to go in there and just snatch that bastard. To be quite honest, I am really so hungry right now. But just to touch on a couple things really quick. Persons always want to know what's the difference between a roasting breadfruit and one that you can boil. Well, basically, when you look on the breadfruit on the tree or when it's picked or whatever, there's gonna be some little black lines all around the breadfruit in little parts. They say that's what is considered to be a roasting breadfruit. Now, how I'm gonna God, is that you? Sorry. Now, how I'm gonna differentiate if this breadfruit is gonna be done, of course, it's not gonna be black on all the parts of the skin like it would on an outdoor fire, but the skin is gonna actually, well, I'm guessing the skin is gonna become a really dark brown, and then I will know that, yeah, the breadfruit should be perfectly fine. All right, so, Lord have mercy. This looks so good. It looks a color that I thought, which is gonna be a dark brown. Let's pop this out and bring it up here. All right. Let's see what we're working with in here. Oh, wow. So as I can see and can tell already, everything kind of shrunk a little bit, which is good. And then I can see like all this wet kind of parts here, so I can tell that's where the seasoning definitely penetrated through the most. All right, let's get into cutting to this thing. You know what? Ooh. Oh snap. Ooh, jeez. Wow. Let me taste a piece of this Ackee really quick. Oh, I'll be damned. Oh my gosh. Yep. Exactly what I wanted it to taste like. This tastes really good. I'm so surprised that the Ackee was able to cook without without even being put in like boiling water like we usually do. Oh my gosh. All right. Let me just add, which one am I taking? This one. A little extra butter on top of that. And then I'm going to dig in. Oh, look how soft that is, guys. Look how soft that is. Even the butter had to melt. Wow. Cheers. Let me tell you, to carve out this breadfruit, it does take some time to do. Is it worth it? Completely, yo. Completely. This one is just as good as that red herring one that we did before. I'll put that at the end of the video so you guys can check that out. Wow. And it's breadfruit. Talk about good. Wow. Oh my gosh. Try this at home, guys. Tell me exactly what you think. Now we see that we can do it in the oven. Quick FYI, I put the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I changed the temperature, raised it up a bit, and I cooked it for about an hour and a half just to be safe and cook thoroughly through. Heaven. Alright guys, so that basically brings us to the end of this video. I'm hoping you guys try this recipe. Send me some Instagram photos of you guys trying it. Hopefully you can get breadfruit where you are in the US or whatever. And remember 3 things. Hold on. Love, nature, adaptation, and always remember keep the link. So over here, so I come out there get that breadfruit. So I did the video with the breadfruit, so you see me, cut half right and vibe. Thing coming along, right?